So forget the fact that when I came here, it looked a little nicer, and I just really wanted to lay down in bed when I came yesterday. But this is Hotel Breakers Express. Hotel Breakers Express. That's important to note. So Hotel Breakers is actually their luxury resort. This is basically like your older Holiday Inn Express. It's not the nicest, especially because it is pretty pricey and it is on property. Technically, we'll talk about that. So part of the background noise, as you can possibly hear, the walls here are pretty thin. Um, when I checked in yesterday, there wasn't that long of a line. That's one good thing. Today, though, when I came in, super long line. Like, I forgot my room number, and I was going to just ask my room number, and I would have had to wait an hour. I'm not doing that. So I just scanned my card on every door until one opened. It was about the 50th one I tried, so I really did not remember. But getting back to my point of this is technically Cedar Point property. So it is. Cedar Point's Express Hotel is the actual official name of the hotel, which is kind of deceiving because it's actually not on the causeway, which I knew that. So it's across from Castaway Bay, which is another resort. It's actually an indoor water park resort owned by Cedar Point. And that one is a pretty nice resort and has a shuttle to Cedar Point, which my plan was just to walk across the street and take that shuttle. Castaway Bay is closed for renovations for the entire season, not because of COVID, but because they're doing renovations. So the interesting and pretty awful thing is there are no shuttle services or paid buses or anything of any type from this hotel to the actual park. It's only about a mile and a half, so I said, maybe I'll just walk. Well, it's illegal on the causeway to walk. So I said, okay, I'll call an Uber. Uber and Lyft, no cars available. Morning, noon, or night here, pretty much. If you don't know, Sandusky is about an hour away from Cleveland. It's not a rural area. I wouldn't call it rural at all, but there's probably 20,000 people here. It's a pretty small town, and Cedar Point is really the only big thing here. So do know that renting a car does give you an advantage. They do give you free parking as well, so renting a car would be an advantage, but because I'm going from Cleveland all the way to Indianapolis on this trip, renting a car was going to be over $200 a day. So what I ended up doing is took a taxi, which they do exist in this town. They are sketchy, to say the least. They are shared taxis. So the minimum rate for both taxi companies, I took one going and coming. The minimum rate is $7, regardless of how short you're going, which, I mean, minimums are normal to have. But also, the interesting thing is when my driver dropped me off at Cedar Point, I had early admission because I'm staying here. He said, well, good thing you came now because the rates go up once the park opens. He didn't tell me the price. There's no rate on the taxi. There's no there's no name even on the side of the taxi. They look very, very sketch. But you have no other option. So you do it. So yeah, $7 each way, when I kind of thought I was going to have some sort of free transportation because I didn't do my research. But that being said, the only actual hotels on property are the Hotel Breakers, which is their luxury resort. It's got a couple restaurants. It's got like a steakhouse, TGI Fridays. I think there's still a Perkins there. And then they have Lighthouse Landing, which is their campground. It's like a glamping kind of thing. It's actually luxury as well. So those both sit kind of on the beach off after the causeway in Cedar Point property. So those actually have free shuttles to the park still, and that's with it. So it's not COVID related. It's really just this renovation thing. So do know that if you want to stay somewhere where you can walk to the park or where you can get an easy shuttle to the park, pretty much your only option is Hotel Breakers or Lighthouse Landing, which are significantly more expensive than the Express Hotel. The Express Hotel, as well as the others, does get you early admission into the park, which that helped me a ton today. I got to ride Steel Vengeance. I'm sorry, let's go in order. I rode Millennium Force, no wait. Maverick, no wait. And then that brought me up to 10 o'clock because I didn't have my transportation crap together. So I didn't end up getting there till 9:30. Rode those two rides at 10 o'clock. We hit Steel Vengeance as soon as they opened. They were not open for early admission. So at 10 o'clock, we hit that. There was already a line, so I waited 30 minutes in line for that. So park opens at 10. By 10:30, I had ridden the three biggest rides, the three rides that would usually have some of the longest waits in Cedar Point, which is pretty cool. So I do recommend getting the early admission, and there are two ways to do it. One is staying on property. Two is actually going to or getting a platinum season pass, which is basically their season pass that covers every part. So I hope you find my struggles informative and you take and learn from them. Cedar Point is somewhere between a regional park and a mega resort. So, and they're getting better, I think. I mean, they're definitely getting closer to like a national attraction than a regional park. But as far as the resort, the Express Resort, do know you'll have to take a taxi.